And NewsNation's Mills Hayes, she's live in Minneapolis. We're going to check back in. Mills, it looks like quite an active scene out there. What's happening behind you?
Kelly, we did just see these officers come out in droves and march into the crowd. We saw at least 3 people arrested, one of them actually wearing a unicorn costume, and we haven't seen any less lethal ammunition like tear gas or pepper spray be deployed quite yet, but you can see that there are dozens, if not more than 40. Look, we got another arrest right there. If we can zoom in, that is 4 in total so far this morning. They do appear to be retreating. As you can see, those Homeland Security investigator police officers backing up, and it does not look like any tear gas or pepper spray was deployed. And when these people came out, when the federal officers came out, they started to go into the crowd of protesters, and we saw them take some of those people out. They have been telling people not to be in the street or to impede those officers. We have seen protesters out in the street, as you guys can see right now, but at the time we saw the large crowd of federal go in and confront protesters, there weren't really that many protesters in the street at that moment. But as you can see now, they are starting to get back into the street, and they are retreating at the moment. But this is more than 200 protesters that are on here on the scene. And we actually saw at least 2 federal officers on the very top of that federal building earlier as well. They're gone at this moment, but we did see them on top of the building here. And these protesters, a lot of them actually came from that rally that was happening earlier today in downtown Minneapolis, where we saw about a dozen anti-immigration protesters show up in downtown, and there were counter protests that were in support of immigration that came out as well. They largely those anti-immigration protesters, and you can hear those protesters now. Shame, shame, shame. But we continue to hear from DHS that they are here to make the community safer. And we have seen that they have arrested people here in the country that have been undocumented for convictions such as murder and rape, and they continue to post some of the worst online. NewsNation spoke with Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino yesterday, saying that these protesters and rioters, and even calling some of them anarchists, that they are making it more difficult for them to do their job. We know, too, that the Department of Justice is investigating the Minneapolis mayor as well as the Minnesota governor for allegedly impeding these operations. What we've heard from those Minnesota leaders is they have called on these protesters to film and document all of these ICE operations. And we did hear from Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar yesterday saying that these people have a right to film and to observe and to follow these officers, something that DHS says makes their operations dangerous, and saying that they've seen an increase of attack on officers as well. But these protesters, they've seen the videos, a lot of them follow ICE officers as well, and they've seen these operations take place where we have seen different protests and clashes between officers and protesters in the streets and the neighborhoods of Minneapolis as well, whenever they're doing these enforcement operations, and ICE observers go out there and watch, and they see what's going on, and they try to interfere, because that's the goal for a lot of these ICE observers, is to try to make these ICE officers and Border Patrol agents' jobs as hard as possible, so that they don't take people from their community. Because Minnesota officials, they have said that everyone here in the state is welcome, no matter if they're legal or not. And so that is what a lot of people here in Minnesota feel. They voted for that. They voted for these Minnesota officials who feel that way as well. And you can tell that there's a lot of anger. In fact, some of these protesters are angry at Minnesota officials for not doing enough to combat these immigration enforcement operations that we have seen throughout the city. We know that there are approximately 3,000 federal immigration officers on the ground, which is much larger than the local police department presence in Minneapolis and in St. Paul in the Twin Cities. Because remember, we've seen these operations happen across the Twin Cities, but also in the suburbs as well. And we did speak with some people earlier at that anti-immigration rally who say that they feel like these protesters should just let these officers do their job, and there wouldn't be so many issues. You can see now on the scene that these agents are all pulling back. They're walking back into that facility, and they're standing guard right now. So it's unclear what's going to happen, but this is a very fluid situation.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.